hope this finds you well and thriving and safe and healthy. And it's another day. This is number 48. This would be Jacob deGrom and Randall K. Myers in the New York Mets canon. 48 days in a row. That's 5 songs a day. That would be 190 songs. So here's our theme on this Saturday. A Saturday in which we got snow. Just like that, it's another day. So welcome. This is that was Bird Fly By, as seen in the Kassoff Broderick songbook, which is available. Many people have purchased it. It is a compilation of lead sheets of songs that we wrote together. A couple of piano parts, but not many. And also the 2 CDs, which are Bird Fly By and Somewhere, of which there are 2 copies left. And you can purchase them as well by contacting me directly. We work it out. RUSSK jazzdirector@gmail.com. So as always, I hope you've had a good day, a productive day. It's the day before Mother's Day. We'll celebrate Mother's Day tomorrow. Right now, we're celebrating our 48th performance in a row without a day off. It's like working on a cruise ship. Or perhaps playing in prison. Of course, we begin with a little Alban Berg. I'll do a little of the theme and I'll take off. I'll pick up where I ended yesterday, just for a few minutes. So sit back and enjoy. So when last we spoke, we left off around here on page 7. Okay, that's a little bit more of the Berg. Who would write such a thing? Al Berg. Mr. Alban Berg to you. Let's see, what else we got here? I'm going to plod through that C-sharp minor etude. And that'll be it for the classical today. Etude number 4, Chopin. This guy was just an absolute genius. I cannot play it up to tempo. I'm going to try to play the right notes. And then you add the emotion and the interpretation, or you try to develop it as you go along. Usually you practice it one hand at a time, but I want to get the notes right. And it's got to come back into my hands someday. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. That's why they call it practice. Everybody now. That's right. What a brilliant chord progression. I'm going to do that again. That's right. So I must go back a little bit. Well, I played the last note perfectly for those of you keeping score. So there you have it, a little of the slow-paced Chopin. And now the jazz portion of our program. This is one of the tunes that I actually brought to Bucky Pizzarelli to play at the Pierre. But then later on I wrote a little band tutti that the bass player had to learn. And he's still hating me for it. But that wasn't Jerry Bruno. We didn't never do it like this at the Pierre. This is, what is this? It's a tune by Nasio Herb Brown, written in 1931. Lyrics by Gordon Clifford. The very first recording was done by Pola Negri in the 1932 film A Woman Commands. A Woman Commands. There are recordings of this tune by Bing Crosby, Dinah Shore, Sinatra in 45, Sylvia Sims, Jerry Vale, and let's see, Nat King Cole, and Lena Horne and Vic Damone, at least. So we're going to start the jazz program off with Paradise. 7, 8. Okay, well, we used to play that, and Bucky Pizzarelli was the one who really made that because he played the rhythm guitar. And just now, I missed that rhythm guitar because it was like, and that was great to play that tune. It was really a good dance number. So let's see who's here. I'm here. Hi, everybody. Hello, Juliana from Ohio, and Paul. Very cold day. Hello, Stephen. Hello, Lisa Avery. And the Mets still have not lost a game. And Juliana, 240 songs, 5 times 48. I sit corrected. I used to be good at math, but just like all these other things, like all the classical music, I got to brush up on my Shakespeare here. Good morning, Dan. Hello, Doug. So we got Vermont and Utah. Very different watch settings. So I hope everything's well with you. And Peggy down the road, you have the same snow that I do. Mine's still here. I think I live about 200 feet above you because we always get extra snow. Hi, Dan Castricone. And Bruce Baum. I'm not going to get into conversations, Lise. Bruce Baum. And don't tell me what to say. Hi, Bruce. How's things? I heard that beautiful girl from Ebonema this morning. Your son posted. Let's see. uh, a Lulu of a performer. Very, very nice. A little Berg reference. How many of you got that? Hi, Ruth and Natsuko from Japan. We've got a worldwide crowd. Okay, here's a tune by Lee Morgan. He wrote it in 1965. Let's see if I wrote down a bunch of stuff. We played it in Sackett's Harbor Jazz Festival #4, which was in 2003. And that was a Potsdam Crane Alumni Association reunion year. I got people who went to Crane. Glenn Drews, Gary Keller, Kiki Holloway was our singer. She was the singer I did all my club dates with back in from 1970 to 73. And I believe Rick Cutler was on the band that on that concert, as would have been Link Milliman. One of the great things I had the pleasure of calling, one of the great people I had the pleasure of calling my friend was Harold Mayburn, who passed away this year, great pianist. And he was on the gig at Slugs in the Lower East Side. I believe that was 1967 when Lee Morgan went outside and his ex-wife shot him to death. Oh, what a happy story. But we all know this story. Anyway, the original recording of this tune was on his album called Cornbread with Herbie Hancock, Billy Higgins, Jackie McLean, Hank Mobley, and Larry Ridley. It's about all I can tell you about Ciora, except for it's a jazz bossa. So I'm going to turn on the toy sound. That's a jazz classic that everyone should know and be able to sing. Ciora. Next up in the hit parade here, when I did my first CD, which is right here, still only two left and available, besides the one that I will keep for myself. It was the first time I did a CD as leader after being in the employ of showbiz royalty since 1980. And so I had to decide what would be the appropriate first song, which is not the first song on the album, but the title of the album. And I have told this story before in this canon of 48 programs. The very first jazz album I heard in my life was at the big brother of a classmate of mine in high school. And the big brother's name is Joe Vincent Tranchina, who's a wonderful jazz pianist. Excuse me just a second. And it was Herbie Hancock's Maiden Voyage. And most people in the mainstream are not familiar with that album. It's a real jazz classic. If you're a jazz person, you know that album very well. It's an all-time classic with an all-time band. And I just said to myself, I got to figure this out. So when I did figure this out, it's all connected. There are connections to everything that I do and that we do. And since I am the music director still for Rita Moreno, I'm always associated with people, or I always come upon, or people come upon me that are trying to get her to do songs from West Side Story, which she hasn't done in 20-something years. I mean, people move on, they do other things. So I picked a song she didn't sing, which was not an Anita song. I picked the most beautiful ballad of the show, and I tried to turn it into a Maiden Voyage-like groove. So that is all that I can tell you about Somewhere, which is the title of my CD. Leonard Bernstein, Stephen Sondheim. In the 1957 show, I can't even read my own handwriting. I'm trying to read who the person was that sang it first. But in the 1961 film, it was Rari Geist. No, it was Rari Geist in the play, a soprano coloratura. And they went back and forth whether or not a man or a woman should sing it. And at the very end of the show, it also appears, of the film, the 61 film. Natalie Wood, Richard Bamer. Anyway, it's based on two themes. The Emperor Piano Concerto of Beethoven and a theme from Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake. So you may think it's beautiful, but it was written before. Here we go, Somewhere in kind of a Maiden Voyage groove. I must say, it is a nice recording. And as a result of it, I got that typewritten note from Stephen Sondheim. And the band on this recording, two still available, Martin Wind and Tim Horner. Uno momento, por favor. Each day, well, let's see if anybody else says hello. Hi, Natsuko. Hi, David Corman. Lovely Morgan. Pete Toohey. I need that phone number. That guy. I want to clean up my beach. Uh, Pete is my neighbor. I'm waving to you. Can you see? Uh, Somewhere is such a great CD. Thank you, Lise. Well, yeah, but everybody else, I'm down to two, but everybody else in the world has it. Even Natsuko in Japan. Okay, so I've been featuring a song from each of the jazz festivals, and as I told you, I wrote one for each one. And back in 2008, this was written for the Sackets Harbor Jazz Festival. And back then, well, first of all, at the beginning of this quarantine, for about 25, 26, 27 consecutive days, you could enjoy the actual practicing, amazing practicing of Chick Corea on Facebook. And every day at 5 o'clock, he would, work through everything he's ever played, all of his tunes, all of his great stuff. And it was amazing to watch him, watch his hands, watch how he kept his memory memory up for all those tunes that go way, way back. One of my favorite Chick Corea tunes is Litha, Litha. It's on, I believe, the Now He Sings, Now He Sobs album. And it goes something like this. And then it merges into a fast four. So I wrote a piece. I was like really involved in listening to Chick Corea back then. So I wrote a tune called A Very Short Korea, Corea. Not to be referring to my own Korea. And it has two different grooves. It has this progressive groove in the front, and then it goes into a fast four. So sit back and enjoy A Very Short Korea. Okay, a very short Korea. One of the pile of original songs that I've written in different times in my life that never ever get played, except here. What an ideal opportunity to play them all for you. Hello, Christina. Welcome. Hey, Pete, sending that number now. Thank you so much. Uh, no, David, I never had the opportunity. I only met Chick once, and that was with Rita. And he knew everything about Rita, and she knew very little about him, except for Aranjuez. Chick would play that great. That would be unbelievable. But, you know, he's got enough. So we're up to the, let's see what time it is here. I am not able to see what time it is because I've lost my camera again, but I know that we're on. Anyway, I am going to play a stride piano version, not a stride piano, but we're going to do Take the A Train. Something happens at an hour on this thing. The camera's on, but it doesn't seem to be a recording. I can't see myself. So somebody say something so that they know that I'm still going. Anybody, just say hello or good Shabbos, something like that. I'm going to do Take the A Train, written in 1939. As is the case with many Duke Ellington pieces, the actual composer is never really known. And in this case, the lyrics could be Billy Strayhorn, although people who sang with the band back then, in 1941, have claimed that a young girl who was a great singer named Joya Sherrill wrote the original lyrics to Take the A Train. And even before her, the Delta Rhythm Boys sang her lyrics. So anyway, she and everybody were very Fletcher Henderson influenced. Okay, I can tell that you can see me. Okay, thanks. So I'm going to continue because I know that it continues. I just can't see it here. So here is my version to say shalom to you of Take a Train. Okay, so that was Take a Train, Take the A Train. So thank you so much for joining me. I will be back. I hope you enjoyed this. We'll be back tomorrow and every day at 12:45. If you want to search Facebook, please go visit Ken Levinsky at 5 o'clock. He plays everything. He takes requests, and he knows every song ever written. At 6 o'clock, Facebook classes it up with a tremendous hour of Mike Greensill. And if you can ever catch Bob Albanese, he pops in and out and plays some very soulful, spiritual, original stuff. But he has no set time, so you never know. You gotta like catch as catch can. In the meantime, I wish you great health, a positive day. Be safe, stay home, wash your hands. This is the way we wash our hands. And I will be back tomorrow at 12:45. Tell all your friends, share all this, and tell them to join the party. And we'll meet again. We'll meet again tomorrow, 12:45. Happy Mother's Day. I will have a couple of Mother's Day May selections. Be well, stay safe. See you tomorrow. Shalom.